Hey chat. So my topic for my school civic engagement project is clean energy. Yay. Um, you know, energy is pretty relevant for our modern day society, considering everything we own is basically powered by it. For example, my Chromebook I use to do most of this editing is powered by energy. And energy has been relevant back in the good old ancient days too, with early harnessing help boosting productivity. So from windmills to the modern nuclear complex, from basically turning moths black with pollution to the prospect of any energy scarcity with the bonus of space travel. Join me, a struggling student in the fourth quarter, in understanding why pollution is bad, why nuclear reactors are very cool, and also why every method of harnessing energy happens to involve a spinning turbine. Back in the early days of civilization, back when we first realized that living labor was probably not the best for everything, we discovered relatively simple methods of collecting energy. Water moves stuff, right? Why don't we make it turn stuff instead? Boom, water mill. Wind moves stuff, right? Why don't we make it turn stuff instead? Boom, windmill. So for the windmill, it was first used by the Greeks, and then it was used by the Romans. It basically replaced prehistoric hand-driven stone mills, allowing for a greater production capability for important stuff like food, which is kind of relevant, we need to eat. The windmill followed a similar development process. The first usage of wind as energy appeared in ancient Egypt, where boats used wind to propel themselves. However, the first actual windmill appeared in China, where it was being used to pump water, and it was also used in Persia in order to grind grain. These two primitive methods would basically set the precedent for energy sources, right? It's a simple concept. Things make turbines spin, and indeed, these methods were so good they're still used today, although with some issues. Now, when the Industrial Revolution hit, everyone who was involved dropped wind and water for coal, which also involved turbines. Unfortunately, coal, as you know, absolutely sucks if you weren't a human, and it threw many ecosystems off balance. One example was the peppered moths of England. When the soot from the coal covered those trees, turning those trees black, the white moths who were used to hiding in those trees from birds were absolutely cooked. The only moths who survived there were the ones who had a mutation that made them black, so they could hide. So when people started moving away from the coal, the black moths still existed. So now their entire existence is cooked, given that despite the white trees, they still have a mainly black population. Now, what if I told you there was a solution? A solution that involves turbines, clean energy, without all the hassle of the stupid solar and wind energy. Well, first of all, what do you think of when I say nuclear? Yeah, I have to admit, nuclear weapons are pretty cool, and they could even be used as space travel. But the main point here is nuclear energy. Nuclear energy has a pretty bad reputation as an energy source, with many thinking of it as some sort of radioactive green sludge to scare away everybody and turn the Earth into, like, I don't know, hell, maybe. In addition, the prevalence of events such as Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island throughout culture has made many scared of nuclear energy. Fortunately, or maybe even unfortunately, nuclear energy is one of the safest and cleanest energy sources out there. It's also pretty basic. See, the only radioactive part is the uranium fuel rods, which are dumped in a pool of water, which can either keep the uranium cool or allow even more fission reactions to occur. Also in between each of the rods are the control rods, which can be placed in the pool of water to halt reactions. Steam from the heat of the reactions and the uranium drives a turbine, which generates electricity. Literally that simple, alright? It seems like governments are starting to realize that too. Many nations have long used nuclear energy to power at least some parts of their economy success. China is a good example of this, with good government investment into the sector. Indeed, they are currently developing an even better nuclear power plant, a fusion fission reactor, to generate 100 megawatts of electric energy from 2030. Sorry, my cat's here. The reactor also aims to achieve absolute insane energy gain factor of over 30, which is much greater than the U.S. national ignition factor. Ow, my cat's biting me. Sorry. Which had an energy gain factor of 1.5 in 2022. But the U.S. has also started to see the light that is nuclear energy. President Donald Trump has recently signed an executive order increasing the number of nuclear reactors. This idea has everything to do with the current competition with the United States has with China over technology. Nuclear energy is essentially the perfect energy source, as it produces enough inexpensive, abundant energy to fuel the current race for AI and technology and stuff like that. All over the world, it's not just the superpowers. Nuclear energy is being seen as a good alternative to stuff like coal. The World Bank has recently lifted their ban on nuclear energy funding, given its capacity to industrialize countries without burning the planet up. All around the world, foreign opponents like Germany or the Union of Concerned Scientists have either softened their opinions on nuclear energy or embraced it altogether. The new economic markets created by nuclear energy can help with the job market as well. The modular reactors currently in construction in Europe, China, and the US could benefit from at least the 20 nations that have nuclear expertise, even if they cannot build a proper reactor yet. So, as you can see, the nuclear energy is essentially the future of clean energy, or even just energy in general, able to create large amounts of energy for today's exponential advancements in technology, and able to industrialize entire nations, all without all of the benefit of not cooking our planet, quite literally.